Hey guys, we're back. That was quick, right? I feel like it's going to be coming back in just a second. Let me put the little banner up. Um, see the cameras moving. I think they're probably getting themselves adjusted. The volume's still down, but let me go and settle these dogs down real quick. We're back. We're back like we never left. We're back like we hadn't been up here all damn day. Um, ooh. Okay. Hold on a second, guys.
Johnson versus Maxwell Anderson, case 24 CF1692, appearances.
Ian F Vance-Curzan and Megan Newport appear for the state, and joining us at council tables, Detective Joanne Donner.
Attorney Anthony Cotton and Jason A Findling with Maxwell Anderson. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Anything to address on the record before we bring the jury in?
No.
No.
Great, let's bring the jury in. Yes, please.
Going on the record, same appearances.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a lovely lunch. So we're back. We're still on the state's case in chief. Our last witness was Mr. Miller. He was witness number 5. Is the state prepared to call its next witness?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The state calls Detective Matthew Vandertye.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
I am Detective Matthew Vandertye, Matthew Vandertye, Vandertie.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm currently employed as a detective for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, having been so employed for just under 10 years, with 3.5 years as a detective.
And were you in your role as a detective then back in early April of 2024?
Yes, I was.
Were you involved in an investigation regarding a leg that was found at Warnemont Park on April 2nd, 2024?
Yes.
The day after the leg was found, Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, were you contacted by someone from the Milwaukee Police Department?
Yes, I was. That was Police Officer Nora Burlow.
What was the general subject matter about her contact to you?
Sure. Police Officer Burlow explained to me that she was conducting a citizen check or a welfare check of a 20-year-old Black female who had been last seen on April 1st, 2024, prior to going on a date, an apparent date. And then on April 2nd, her vehicle was found burned under suspicious circumstances, or the vehicle that she had been known to drive was found burned under suspicious circumstances.
Did she identify the person to you that she was concerned about?
Yes.
Okay. Who was that?
Actually, that was brought up later during a briefing with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, our Investigative Services Bureau.
Understood. Who was that missing person that the welfare check was regarding?
Sade Robinson.
Her date of birth?
I don't have the exact date of birth, but she was 19 years old at the time.
Okay. May 10, 2004. Does that sound right?
It was in May of 2004.
So Officer Burlow said 20-year-old, but you now know that Sade was 19 at the time. Is that
correct? Based upon records that I've reviewed.
All right. Thank you. Did you also, upon communicating with the Milwaukee Police Department, as well as during briefings, learn that Sade's phone was not working in some capacity?
Yes, individuals had attempted to contact her without success. The phone had been going to voicemail.
Were you provided with a phone number for Sade Robinson?
Yes, Detective Joanne Donner had conducted some investigation and identified a possible phone number for her.
That possible phone number was 414-510-4769, is that correct?
That is correct.
On April 3rd, when you became involved in this investigation after you were contacted by the Milwaukee Police Department and briefed, did you follow up in any way regarding Sade Robinson's phone?
I did.
What did you do?
Initially, I identified that telephone number, 414-510-4769, was attributed to Verizon Wireless. I queried a couple databases that I've used in the past for doing that. Once I identified that phone number was Verizon Wireless, I initiated an exigency request to Verizon Wireless for cellular records around the time. Purpose of that was to attempt to identify possible locations where this missing person may have been, where this missing person went, and who this missing person may have contacted or been in contact with.
So this exigency request that you're making, that essentially means you're asking for those records from the phone company without a warrant, is that right?
Correct.
And why did you opt for an exigency request here?
Initially, based upon the circumstances, there was a missing individual whose vehicle had been located burned under suspicious circumstances, in addition to a leg being found in the park. At that time, we didn't necessarily know who that leg belonged to, nor would we know exactly who that leg belonged to for a period of time. Individuals had attempted to contact this missing person numerous times without success. That was not regular, or that was not in her, I guess, nature to not answer her phone. And so that was initiated.
Okay. Sometime in the weeks after April 3rd, did you follow up with Verizon Wireless with a warrant to get certified records from that phone company regarding Sade Robinson's phone number?
Yes, I did.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 282. It's a disc and it's clipped to a piece of paper. Do you know what that is?
Yes, this disc contains the records from Verizon, including the certification attached concerning telephone number 414-510-4769. This is the number that was listed before.
And you made that disc, correct?
Yes, I did.
So you served a warrant on Verizon. They responded by sending you the certified phone records, and that's what's on that disc.
Correct.
They sent it to you electronically, fair?
Correct.
Okay. And that certification, the piece of paper, that piece of paper is also on the disc itself, correct?
Yes, it is.
I would move 282 into evidence, Judge.
It's just one it's just one exhibit for both of them?
One exhibit for
Got it.
both of them, I can staple together.
That's okay. Any objection?
No.
Received.
Thank you. So Detective, you had said one of the reasons for this exigency request for those records was to see if you could figure out locations where her phone might have been. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Did you in fact get that information in some form through that exigency request as well as through these certified records?
Yes.
I'm going to put 282 in here. Just give me 1 minute. Remind me again, what was the reason why you were worried about these locations? What did you think that was going to help you and your colleagues do?
So ultimately, we were trying to locate the missing person, Sade Robinson. I know that in today's day and age, most people have cell phones, right? And a lot of times people have cell phones with them. I know that cellular companies provide law enforcement with information relating to the cell sites and the cell site usage for those cellular accounts. And that would help us narrow down potentially where she was, where she had been, additional locations for us to follow up with video, witness interviews, etc.
Possibly even helping you find the phone itself, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna put up on the screen, this is on Exhibit 282, an Excel spreadsheet. The beginning of the title, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. The title begins with subscriber_MTN. There are a number of things on this disk, correct, Detective?
Correct.
And in fact, if I pull up the file log here, we're looking at all of the records that they gave you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. There are numerous Excel spreadsheets. This subscriber_MTN, this would have been the subscriber information for that phone number that you got from Verizon Wireless, correct?
Yes.
What does it say about who the subscriber to that phone number is and where they live?
The first name listed is Sade, last name Robinson, under address line 1858 North Commerce Street, apartment 309, and city, Milwaukee, state, Wisconsin.
Okay. In these records, as well as the exigency records that you received, did you also get from Verizon Wireless text message content?
Yes, I'm aware that Verizon Wireless maintains SMS, short message service, or text message content for approximately 5 days.
And when you reviewed the exigency records, did you locate text messages from April 1st, 2024 in those records?
Yes, I did.
Were there outgoing texts from Sade's phone on April 1st?
Yes.
I'm going to pull up a different document on Exhibit 282. The beginning title of the Excel spreadsheet is SMS content. SMS stands for what again?
Short message service.
All right. And a lot of these records that we're looking at appear like this. Is that fair to say?
Yes, they do.
All right. This, if you just take a glance, looks like gibberish in a spreadsheet, right?
Lots of numbers and letters on a spreadsheet. Yes.
All right. But if we look closely here, column A that I'm looking at over on the left side of the screen here, that shows what?
Is it
You can
possible
get
for
up
me to
if
move?
you can't.
Okay.
Judge, may the witness get up?
Of course, feel free.
Column A, the header of column A is titled Message Arrival.
All right. And then if we go across, we get all the way over here where it says originating MDM and terminating NDN. That would be columns I and K, correct?
Correct.
What are those?
Originating MDN would be the sending telephone number in the conversation, and the terminating MDN would be the receiving telephone number in the conversation.
All right. If we go over to column L, what is that?
It's titled Message Content.
And is this where you're going to see the actual substance of the text messages that were sent?
Yes.
All right. Did you locate a text conversation that appeared to be the last text conversation that Sade Robinson was actively engaging with another number?
Yes, the parent text conversation in the 4 p.m. And early 5 p.m. hour on April 1st, 2024, between her number, the 414-510-4769, and the other number, the 262-416-4874 telephone number.
Okay. That 262-416-4874 number, did you also follow up and and request exigency records or any kind of records related to that phone number?
I personally did not. Special Agent George Reiner, through the FBI, did request exigency.
Okay. Did you then later after that request records from that phone number
Yes,
through a warrant?
through a search warrant.
And you received certified records?
I did.
Okay. I'm gonna go direct your attention right about here. You see the message I've highlighted there?
Yes.
Okay. This message, if you go over to what time it was sent, what are we looking at?
The timestamp here is 4/1, April 1st, 2024, 17:15. 17:15 is military time for 5:15. However, I know that Verizon records for these SMS content messages are stored in Eastern time or provided in Eastern time. So we, being in Central time, would subtract 1 hour from that time to make it our local time.
All right, so that would mean this message was sent at what time?
It would be at 4:15.
And the content of the message over here in column L, or excuse me, column M is what?
States, where are we meeting?
And who sent that message to who?
That message was sent from the 414-510-4769 number to 262-416-4874.
All right, and why don't you, starting with that message, go down and tell the jury what the exchange is between those numbers moving forward in time from that text message.
So after the first text message, where are we meeting? The reply from, or actually the next message is again from 414-510-4769 stating, I can do 5.
So that, those two both came from Sade's phone.
Correct.
Okay. The response from the 262 number is what?
Response is downtown somewhere, question mark.
Okay. How does Sade respond?
Okay.
How does the 262 number respond to that?
Rock house on 3rd, question mark.
How does Sade respond?
Perfect.
And that message, the perfect message, was sent at what time?
Local time, 4:28 p.m.
Back over to column M. The 262 number sends 2 consecutive messages to Sade reading what?
Okay, I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. And then, are you hungry? Question mark. I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, and we could eat there first.
How does Sade respond to those 2 texts?
Okay, and yes.
Then,
And then, are we eating at the Brock House or the other place?
and how does the 262 message number respond to Sade's question?
Let's eat at Twisted. I'm feeling seafood.
How does Sade respond to that?
Yes, I love seafood.
What does the 262 number say next?
Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon.
Okay. I don't know what happened there, but the TV went out and then came back and then went out again. All right, we're back. After the 262 number says, sounds good, I'm about to leave and I'll be there soon. Actually, before I ask my next question, that message is sent at what time?
4:54 p.m.
And then there's this odd looking response after that. Do you know what that's about?
I don't know the exact content of the message, based upon the various symbols and characters. I believe it to be some sort of emoji or other characters that can't be necessarily translated into the SMS content system.
On an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. After that, there is a text from the 262 number to Sade that says what?
Just got it twisted.
And that text message was sent at what time
5:11 PM Central.
on April 1st?
Correct.
Subsequent to that, Sade responds with what?
Okay, are you inside? Question mark.
And the 262 number responds what?
Yes.
All right. And then after that, as we go down, are there any other outgoing text messages, SMS messages from Sade's phone?
Can you grab the microphone and pull it closer to you? I guess there's some difficulty in hearing you. Thank you.
Can you please repeat the question?
Sure. The question I have for you is after Sade asks the question, okay, are you inside? And then receives the answer of yes. Does she engage in any other outgoing messages after that?
I do not believe she engages with any other individuals, no.
Okay, and so I want to direct your attention to line 451. There seems to be an outgoing, some kind of message from Sade at that time, correct?
Correct.
And it looks like it is gibberish in response to a text message from True Religion. Is that right?
Yes, it appears to be a targeted advertisement or an advertisement sent to her device, and it appears that an automated message was sent from her device back to the telephone number that sent the advertisement.
Other than that one, are there any other messages that you saw in the records, both the exigency records and these records, that showed Sade texting, sending outgoing text messages to other people?
No.
So the last conversation in the records is Sade's conversations with that 262 number you had mentioned before.
Yes.
That okay, are you inside text that Sade sent was sent at what time?
Local time was 5:18 PM.
And it appeared to you that was the last outgoing text she sent, correct?
Yes.
You can have a seat, Detective.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this point, that information about the text messages, you originally had it through the exigency records, although we just looked at it from certified records, right?
Correct.
So it appeared to you that the last person Sade was texting was that 262 number, correct?
Yes.
Did you subsequently look up in any kind of databases to see if you had that number listed to any person?
Yes.
And did you find a number that your records suggested that phone might belong to?
Yes.
And what was the name of that person?
Maxwell Anderson.
Are you aware of whether or not your department arrested Maxwell Anderson on April 4th of 2024?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the photograph from that arrest?
It's actually April of, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can you repeat the date?
Sure.
Please.
Let me put it this way. After you went through these records and you
Yes.
linked up that phone number to the name Maxwell Anderson, did your department arrest Maxwell Anderson?
Yes.
Okay. Have you reviewed the booking photo from that arrest?
Yes.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 445. Is that the photo you saw?
Yes, it is.
I would move 445 into evidence as published.
Any objection?
No.
It's received. You may publish.
You see that person in court today?
Yes, I do.
Could you identify where that person is for the record? By indicating where they're seated and what they might be wearing?
That individual is seated at the defense table, wearing a blue appears to be flannel, blue and black checkered flannel shirt.
I'd ask the record to reflect that the witness identified the defendant.
Any objection?
No.
Record will so reflect.
You subsequently got not only exigency records, but also through a warrant, certified records from that phone number, correct?
Yes,
Did you do any similar practice to figure out what phone company serviced that 262 phone number?
yes.
What was it?
AT&T.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 281. What is Exhibit 281 if you don't?
Exhibit 281 is another disc that I produced containing files from AT&T concerning telephone number 262-416-4874. And it also includes the certification of certificate of authenticity of domestic records pursuant to Federal Rules of Evidence 902 sub 11 and 902 sub 13.
All right, so that again, like the Verizon records, it's a disc of the certified records, and the piece of paper that is the certification is also located on this.
Yes.
I would move 281 in.
Any objection?
No.
281 is received.
Thank you. Just give me 1 second, pull up the document I need. Similar to the phone records servicing Sade Robinson's phone, there's information in these records about the subscriber for that 262-416 number, correct?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
It would be the file labeled report CT.
Report CT, all right. I've got on the screen now from Exhibit 281, the file titled Report CT. I think, Judge, this TV is about to turn off.
We'll see if we can help.
All right, we're back. There is specific user information on this page pertaining to the number 262-416-4874, right?
Yes,
And that would be the phone number that the last phone number Sade was texting.
yes.
And who does it say is the contact name for that?
The contact name for that particular telephone number is Max Anderson.
What is Max Anderson's date of birth?
11/26/1990.
So at the time, he would have been 33?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also come to learn when you were trying to go through these various phone records and make the exigency requests for those records that Sade Robinson was known to have a Life 360 account?
Around that time, yes.
Did you ultimately serve a warrant upon Life 360 to get those certified records?
Yes. I
Can you
did.
tell the jury, just generally speaking, what Life 360 is?
Life 360 is a mobile application that can be installed on cellular devices. It's primarily used for location sharing services. So if you would like to share your location with your family members or friends, at any point in time, they can essentially see where you are. You can provide them updates as to your location.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 283. $283, do you know what that is?
Yes, exhibit number 283 is a disc containing the records I received from Life 360 Incorporated.
Similar to the phone records we've discussed, are they certified?
Yes,
Is that what the piece of paper that's attached to the disc is?
yes, including the certification of records for these records that I received.
Just see if that microphone you're standing in front of is on, and if it's not, the one actually next to it, I was thinking, and if that one's not on, can we turn it on? Because there's a difficulty hearing you, is what I'm being advised. So I guess when you're approaching the bench where you're at, it's difficult for you to be picked up. So if you could, I guess, just position, this picks up the DAR, so it's not amplifying your voice, but if you could go near your table and put the mic to the side, maybe, that'd be great.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No worries. Sorry
Um,
about that. Could you re-ask your last question? I think it was relative to the certification of the last exhibit
Right,
being Life 360.
thank you. That piece of paper that's attached to the disc, that would be the certification for those records, correct?
Yes,
I'd move 283 in.
Any objection?
No.
283 is received.
And then Detective, lastly, I'm going to give you Exhibit 284. When you got the cell phone records, you got some other records from those phone companies about their cell towers, correct?
I received a cell site database for AT&T from NDCAC, which is the National Domestic NDCAC, which is the National Domestic Communications Assistance Center. That those certified cell site lists from AT&T were provided from NDCAC. The initial cell site lists from Verizon were also from NDCAC, and then a few weeks later, I received certified cell site lists directly from Verizon.
Is that what Exhibit 284 is?
Yes,
And that's, again, a disc you made based on the stuff you got from those companies?
correct, pertaining to those companies.
I'd move 284 in as well.
Any
And-
objection?
And what else?
I don't think I moved 283, so I'm going to move that as well.
You already did.
You did.
283 is in.
I don't object.
284 is in as well now.
These phone records that we discussed for Max Anderson's phone, as well as Sade Robinson's phone, and then those cell site records could further be used to map out approximate locations of where those phones would have been at various times. Is that a fair statement?
Yes,
Were you able to do some version of the same thing with just the exigency records?
yes,
Okay, so the exigency records, you got that text conversation we had talked about where they talk about going to Twisted Fisherman around 5:15, is that right?
yes,
And then you also got some information about phone location.
yes.
Can you describe, related to Sade's phone, what information you were able to get?
So for her device specifically, we were able to get call detail records. The exigency records included what Verizon states is RTT, or real-time tool. That is a type of engineering data, includes the cell site that was utilized, also the sector or the direction in which the antenna was facing, and also a distance from the cell site. In addition to the real-time tool data, we also received call detail records, which includes telephone calls, who made the call, or to which number the call was made, or the calling party number to Sade's telephone number, cell site that was used at that time, duration of the call, and then the text message content as well.
All right, and with that information, actually, before I ask that question, it'd be fair to say, based on that last text conversation that she had, that it appeared she was planning on meeting up with someone at Twisted Fisherman, specifically Max Anderson, correct?
Yes.
Did you then use that location information that you just described to try to figure out if that could tell you whether it appeared she actually went there?
Yes.
Where is Twisted Fisherman, first of all?
Twisted Fisherman is located at 1200 West Canal Street in the
Okay,
city and county of Milwaukee.
all right. What happened when you looked up that location information?
It appeared that her device traveled to that location or in the general area of that location in the late 4 p.m. hour and early 5 p.m. hour on April 1st, 2024.
And from there, in a general sense, can you tell us what information you had relative to the phone location of Sade's phone?
Yes. The device remained in that general area until approximately 6:30 p.m., at which time it traveled north and east to the general area of Dukes on Water, which is located at 158 East Juneau Avenue in the city and county of Milwaukee.
After that area of North Water Street, then what?
Around 9 p.m. or shortly after 9 p.m., the device traveled south and west from that location.
During your initial, when you were initially trying to figure out who the 262 number belonged to and learned that it may belong to Max Anderson, did you also learn of an address that was believed to be belong to Mr. Anderson?
Yes,
Was that 3161 South 39th Street?
that is correct.
That'd basically be between Oklahoma and Euclid on South 39th Street, correct?
In that area, yes.
After leaving Dukes on Water, did the phone move to, or appear to move to a location around Mr. Anderson's?
It did.
What about after that?
So from approximately it arrived in that area about 9:20 p.m. or shortly thereafter. It remained in that area until approximately 12:45 or shortly thereafter on April 2nd, 2024.
After that?
After that time, approximately 12:45, shortly thereafter on April 2nd, 2024, device moved north and east to the area of downtown Milwaukee.
And after that?
After that, the device was in the area of downtown Milwaukee and north of the area of downtown Milwaukee, general area of the Milwaukee River, and Kern Park, Pleasant Valley Park as well, in the mid 1:30 a.m. hour or shortly thereafter.
Pleasant Valley Park and Kern Park, those would sort of border the Milwaukee River, is that correct?
Correct. They're adjacent to the Milwaukee River.
In the River West neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pull up Exhibit 443, which has already been admitted. Just need 1 second here. All right, Detective, can you see this map?
I'll have to get up just because of the glare on the screen.
All right, and just to recap, I probably should have had this up when we were going through it first, but this area right here, West Canal Street, this is about the location of where Twisted Fisherman is, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Can you pull that mic over if you're going to stand there? Thank you. Go ahead.
so after leaving that location, it appeared the phone had gone sort of in a northeast direction over in the area of Water Street and Juneau. Is that what you said before?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of right up in this area here where my mouse is. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. And again, we're talking generalizations. Is that fair to say?
Correct. This is all based on cell site location information. So cell sites, direction of the antenna. Yes.
Okay. And to be clear, that information was not giving you a pinpointed location of the phone.
That is correct.
Then after that, I think you indicated it goes down to the area of Mr. Anderson's residence near 39th and Oklahoma here, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then it moved up towards downtown, and I think you said by the 1:30 hour near this area in River West, Pleasant Valley Park, correct?
Yeah, it was approximately 1:30 a.m., shortly after 1:30 a.m.
All right. Picking up from there, where does the phone appear to go from those exigency records that you were looking at?
From approximately 2 p.m. to until 2:10.
2 p.m.?
Or 2 o'clock in the morning, I should say, 2 o'clock a.m. Until 2:10 or 2:12 a.m. The device moved west
All right.
to the area of approximately West Capitol Drive and Fond du Lac Avenue.
Okay.
Or
So
just
this
east
street
thereof.
this street here that I'm highlighting
Yes,
with my mouse? Okay.
Yes.
And then does it double back east?
it does.
And then what?
Doubles back east, and then travels south
Towards where?
towards the Mitchell interchange.
Around what time?
Approximately a little bit before 2:30 or 2:30 in the morning.
All right. Then what?
It would have traveled west.
Do you want to point out what you're talking about?
So it travels south and then it travels west to the area of I-41 or I-894 and approximately South 76th Street at that time.
And what is that time, by the way?
Approximately 2:34 a.m.
All right. Then does it double back east?
Yes.
And where does it appear to go from there, if you want to point out?
Device travels east, south, and then east again.
Where?
So east in the area of I-41, I-894, south in the area of I-41, I-94, and then east in the area of College Avenue.
Okay, and that'd be just south of the airport, which I'm circling here with the mouse, correct?
Correct, in that general area.
And what time does it, and what does it do next and at what time?
After traveling east, it traveled to the area of Warnemont Park, or Sheridan Park and Lake Michigan.
All right, and if I zoom in
Shortly
on,
after, arrived in that area shortly after 2:50 a.m.
shortly after 2:50 a.m., the phone appears to be around the area of Warnemont Park here, correct?
Yes.
And does it continue moving or does it appear to stop for a period of time or be in one location for a period of time?
For a period of time from 2:50 in the morning, yes. It
All right.
was in a particular area, not moving substantially.
Not moving substantially. Okay, until when?
Approximately 4:30 in the morning on April 2nd, 2024.
So it appears to be in an area consistent with being at Warnemont Park from about 2:50 to approximately 4:30.
Yes.
And then what happens?
The device traveled north and west a short distance.
Point out what you're talking about?
Sure. To the area of State Highway 794 and East Howard Avenue. Which would be in this area. There's a cell site in that particular area. The last records were just before 2:40 a.m. on April 2nd, 2024, using a cell site in that location.
You said
At that
2:40 is the last record?
440, I should say.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just to recap, when it's in this area that's on the screen now, arrives what appears to be consistent with the area of Warnemont Park around 2:50, remains stationary until about 4:30, and then moves slightly north and slightly west.
Correct.
And then do the records stop?
Correct.
Okay. Just to be very, very clear about this, what you're just describing, number one, you're not saying that it's telling you the exact pinpoint location of the phone, correct?
Correct.
And this is just a general summary of the locations, fair?
Correct.
What was the purpose at the time what were you gonna do with this information at the time that you were getting these records initially as exigency records?
So these were, again, locations that investigators could look for follow-up pieces of information, attempting to locate Sade and attempting to locate additional video, evidence or interview individuals who may have been in those particular areas at those times.
Okay. When you were analyzing these records, you said, you had mentioned an FBI special agent before, correct?
Yes.
Who was that person?
George Reinerth.
It's Reinerth for the record. Did he sort of work with you to get the locations we just discussed?
Yes, we worked together on that.
And did you subsequently yourself, working with Special Agent Reinerth, more formally map out those locations?
Yes.
And did you turn those records over to him for him to map out as well?
Yes, I provided the records that I received from Verizon and AT&T and also Life 360 to Special Agent Reinerth.
I think this kind of goes without saying, but those locations, you passed that information along to Detective Donner as well as other investigators to conduct follow-up in those areas, correct?
Yes, Detective Donner, other investigators from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and other investigators from the Milwaukee Police Department.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
Cross?
Thank you. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I just want to start with just backing up why you requested these cell tower records. So you requested cell tower records because typically people have their phone on them, right?
Correct.
And when you have your phone on you, it's constantly tracking your movements via these satellite towers.
The phone is attempting to connect to the tower with the best signal, yes, if it were to need to make a phone call or a data connection.
Okay, and you can use that location information for every time the phone's connecting to that tower to kind of track the path of someone's movement, right?
Correct.
And so if you're trying to pinpoint where someone was at a specific time or a general area, you can read these records and determine where in the general area they would be.
You can determine the cell site that was used, the direction from which the antenna is facing, and then also possibly a distance from the actual antenna that was used.
But it's not real precise because you can't pinpoint exactly where someone is.
Correct.
You can't pinpoint how long they're in that specific area because it's a range, right?
Can you ask the question or rephrase the question?
Based on the cell tower data, are you able to tell where someone is for a certain duration of time?
In relation to the other records, we can get an approximation, a time frame.
Okay, but it's an approximation, it's not precise.
We know when the records were generated, but we'd have to consider it in relation to other records.
Okay. And you might be able to tell a general area where someone is, but you don't know, the records can't tell you why the person is in the specific area, correct?
Correct.
And it can't tell you what that person is doing in that location, correct?
Correct.
And it can't tell you who that person is with, if they're with anyone.
Correct, unless you have other information that goes along with that.
Okay. And so the state showed us this, I guess, spreadsheet that had all these numbers. I think they described it as gibberish, right?
Correct.
Do you manually look at that, or do you ever put that into a system to kind of make it easier to read?
There's software that we use to make it easier to read. It can be mapped
Okay.
manually, but use software.
And so you got all these records before Mr. Anderson was ever arrested, right?
Correct.
And so you
The exigency records.
okay. And so you review these records and you look at what past, conversations Ms. Robinson's phone had with other people, right?
For a period of time, yes.
And I guess we looked at some of the, you read through some of these text messages that Sade's phone has with Max's phone, and they start this conversation, you said, at 4:15 p.m. on April 1st, right?
I would have to look at the exact timestamp, but yes, that sounds correct.
Okay, and they're texting back and forth. Where are we meeting? And Sade says I can do 5, right?
Correct.
And they talk about where they might want to meet. Broad House on 3rd, and they ultimately decide to meet at Twisted Fisherman, correct?
Correct.
And in the outgoing message from Max's phone, it says, I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, right?
Yes.
And you know what a W-2 is, right? It's a work document.
Yes. It's
So-
a tax-related work document.
So one can conclude that Max most likely worked there at some point, right?
Yes.
And he wanted to bring Sade there, a place that he's known at because he worked there, right?
Yes.
It wasn't some obscure location where, Max didn't have any contact with, right?
I didn't know any previous contacts, but based upon the context of the text message content, yes.
Okay, and those text messages, they seem pretty light, correct? It's just two people getting to know each other. That's what the text messages seem indicative of, right?
Yes, I don't know necessarily the backstory to the message, I guess, conversation, but it's a basic conversation, yes, about meeting.
There's nothing threatening in those texts, right?
No,
Not aggressive.
no.
Okay. And you talked about these weird symbols that you said that you believe they might be an emoji.
Correct.
And you know what emojis are, right?
Yes.
You can send smiley faces, right?
Smiley faces are one, yes.
You can send animals,
Yes.
vegetables,
Sure.
and all sorts of hearts, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of like it's a playful image, right? Usually that's typically from your, real life experience that you send those and they're kind of like a playful image.
It can be, yes.
And so I want to move just forward a little bit. You said that the last outgoing message from Sade's phone is around 5:08.
Yes,
And that's the last outgoing text message, right?
in that, yes,
But you're aware that in this day and age, there's lots of ways to communicate with people.
I do.
I mean, used to be a lot of emails, right?
I
Well,
suppose, yes.
And then I guess as generations move up, there's all these social media platforms that you can communicate with people, right?
Correct,
Like Snapchat,
correct,
like Instagram.
correct,
They call it a DM, right? You can message someone, direct message, it's a DM.
correct,
And TikTok, right?
correct.
And those cell records you analyzed, those didn't contain any information from any of those applications, right?
Correct. That would have to be from a device specific information.
Okay, so based on the records you reviewed, you can't tell whether Ms. Robinson's phone was communicating with anyone else on any of these other platforms.
Correct.
And then once you identified the phone number that Sade was texting with about meeting at Twisted Fisherman, are you there? You determined that was Max Anderson's phone, right?
Yes,
And then you arrested him right after that, right?
I personally did not.
But are you aware that law enforcement arrested him shortly after that?
Yes,
Okay. And so based on the cell tower records that you reviewed, you were able to determine that, Sade's phone goes to Twisted Fisherman, and then it goes to Duke's on Water, and then it goes to the area of Mr. Anderson's residence, right?
yes.
And it's there for a period of time. Do you remember how long it was in that area?
In the area of Mr. Anderson's residence.
Yeah, sorry.
So it left the area of downtown from the area of Duke's on Water and went down to the area of Mr. Anderson's residence shortly after 9 p.m. So approximately 9:20 p.m. until 12:45 or shortly thereafter the following morning.
Okay, and then her phone around 12:45 a.m. leaves that area, correct?
Yes,
And it travels to the north side of Milwaukee, correct?
travels to the area of downtown prior to traveling north and west.
Okay, so it moves to the downtown city area of Milwaukee,
Correct,
away from kind of the residential area where Max's house is.
correct,
And then it moves towards the Milwaukee River, right?
yes,
And it's true around 1:15 a.m. it is in the area around her apartment, correct?
correct,
And it's around that area for, I believe, about 15 minutes.
it was in the area of downtown Milwaukee, yes.
I mean, I'm talking about close to her apartment.
I would have to look at the exact, I guess, records to determine that, but it was in the area of the downtown Milwaukee for a period of time, yes.
Okay. And her apartment was in the downtown Milwaukee area, correct?
Yes,
And then based on the cell tower records, it kind of heads up maybe towards almost Shorewood area, right?
north, yes,
Okay. And then ultimately, I mean, it's the phone is essentially traveling throughout the downtown and the greater Milwaukee area, right?
yes,
And then ultimately it's heading down south and ends up at Warnemont Park, correct?
the area of Warnemont Park, Sheridan Park, and Lake Michigan, yes,
Okay, and again, this is just an estimate. We can't pinpoint exactly where this phone was at any given time, right?
correct.
And so what these cell tower records really do is they tell us where someone's phone is, and why that's important in an investigation is because typically people have their phones on them.
Yes, that's fair.
And you use it to, you know, ideally try to figure out where someone was in a general area at a certain time, right?
Yes,
And all these records that you were testifying to are related to Sade Robinson's phone, right?
yes,
They don't tell, none of those records told you where Mr. Anderson's phone was, correct?
yes. We obtained those later, along with the Life 360 information from her application,
Okay,
Sade's application.
and when you reviewed, well, I guess one of the last text messages that was received by Sade's phone was from Max, where he asked how work is going, correct?
Yes,
And based on the cell tower data you got about Max's phone, his phone stayed inside of his residence, correct?
based on my understanding of his cellular records, the device was off overnight. And then after it was back on the network, that message was sent, yes.
Okay, my question was, his phone, based on the cell tower data
It
you
was in the
reviewed-
area, yes, in the area of his residence.
Okay,
General area of
and
his residence.
throughout all these cell tower records, when you're comparing Max's phone to Sade's phone, they're together at the Twisted Fisherman, correct?
Correct,
Then they're together at Duke's on Water, correct?
correct,
And then they both travel consistently together to Max's house, correct?
correct,
And then Sade's phone leaves the area of Max's house, correct?
correct,
And Max's phone stays in the area of his house, correct?
correct.
I have nothing further.
State,
Just briefly, when you're talking about, when we were talking about using phone location to maybe even find Sade herself, the phone location information from these records is really only useful if the person keeps their phone on them, correct?
Yes,
All right, so if someone left their phone behind, tracking the location of it wouldn't lead you to them, fair?
correct.
All right, nothing else.
defense?
I have nothing, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Detective. State, your next witness?
Detective Spittlemeister.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
Nathan, Nathan, Spittlemeister, Spittlemeister.
Are you a detective with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
I am
How long have you been a law enforcement officer with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
up for about 9 years,
How long as a detective?
3.5.
Were you involved in investigating, conducting follow-up investigation related to a leg found at Warnock Park on April 2nd, 2020?
Yes, I was.
And one of your roles in this investigation was to look area of where the leg was found for videos. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I have up on the screen next to you exhibit number 1 that's already been admitted. This would be the area where the leg was found, right?
That's correct.
Did you go to various locations that are depicted in this map to recover video?
I did.
Can you tell the jury where?
Cudahy High School, Cudahy Police Department, the Cudahy Water Department.
All right. I'm going to show you exhibit 11, 12, and 27. Exhibit 11, can you open that and tell us what it is?
Do you need a scissors?
This is a flash drive containing the video footage that was recovered from the pump station or the water department.
The next one, 12.
This is a CD containing the video footage that I recovered from the Cudahy High School.
And then the last disc, I think it said 27.
Yes, that is the video footage I recovered from the Cudahy Police Department.
And how is it that you know that flash drive and those 2 discs contain video you recovered?
My initials are written above the titles on each piece of evidence.
You wrote them.
Yes.
Okay. I'd remove 11, 12, and 27 in.
Any objection?
No.
They're received.
All right, Detective, before playing them, I want to use the map to just help us understand where these videos are going to be from. So the building I'm pointing to with my pen here, that is the Cudahy Water Department, correct?
That is correct.
And the building I'm pointing at here, it says Cudahy City Hall, the police department is there.
That is correct.
And then right north of that, where my pen is going now, that's the high school, correct?
Correct.
What cameras are we going to be looking at from the Cudahy Water Department?
There is one camera that is on the water department building that faces, or that is on the south side of the building, and it faces southeast.
Does
So-
it show Pulaski Avenue here?
It does.
All right, continue.
It also captures into the distance of Warnemont Park. That's the only camera recovered from the actual water department building.
There's another camera that you recovered video from here, correct?
Yes,
Are there actually multiple cameras from that pump house?
there are 2 cameras.
What directions do they face?
One is on the north side of that pump house, and it faces north, capturing a sidewalk, a gravel parking area, and the tree line that heads down to the beach.
What does the camera that faces south depict?
The camera that faces south, southeast, it depicts Lake Michigan and the sidewalk.
All right. The videos we're going to watch today, are we going to watch any of the videos that face south?
No,
Why is that? Did you find anything on them?
there was nothing of evidentiary value, just the lake.
The Cudahy Police Department that I'm pointing to right here, where are the cameras that we're going to watch from there?
There are 2 cameras. One is on the east side of the Cudahy Police Department, and it faces east. And it captures the large open field area, as also with Pulaski Avenue, and approximately where the gate would be for the pump house access road.
What's the quality of that video?
Very poor,
Okay, grainy.
very grainy.
Nevertheless, you can see lights though, correct?
Yes,
All these videos we're discussing are from the middle of the night, fair?
yes, they are.
Then, is there another camera from the police department that we're gonna watch?
Yes, we'll have one other video that was recovered. On that camera is positioned on the west side of the building, and it faces southwest, capturing Lake Drive.
And then the high school, what does the high school show?
The high school also had two cameras. One is facing on the south side of the building and it faces south. And it captures a very wide frame of Pulaski Avenue, the entrance to Warnemont Park, and the pump house access road.
All right, I'm going to start with Exhibit 27, which is the Cudahy Police Department video. Judge, I would ask if jurors wanted to stand up at this time, would the court allow that?
We can pull this TV closer to the jurors, I think. And that might help. That one has to stay at the edge of this table, so I can't bring it that much more forward.
Are you able to see this?
I can always move my position, sir.
And I guess if anybody at the backside wants to come closer to this one, you could. Or if you can see, okay.
All right. This is the Cudahy Police Department video. On the bottom, it looks like there's a date and a timestamp, correct?
That's correct.
And what can you tell us generally about the accuracy of that date and timestamp?
On the camera that's facing east, it's probably about a minute and 20 seconds fast than the actual confirmed timestamps that we were able to get.
All right. So right now I have the video queued up. The title of the video begins to CUPD East. We are looking towards Lake Michigan, is that correct?
That's correct.
And where are we going to be wanting to look when this video plays, and what are we going to be seeing? If you could describe that for the jury.
At the top of the video feed, you're going to see a white shed.
Okay.
In the area of that white shed, you will see a pair of headlights or taillights from the vehicle that you'll be able to see traveling east on what is Pulaski Avenue.
All right. And by going east, it's going away from this camera, correct?
That's correct.
Not across the screen where my mouse is doing right now, right?
Correct. That would be Sheridan.
And where you see those lights, you've obviously been here yourself, fair?
Yes.
Where does it appear that those lights are heading towards?
To the pump house access road. Pulaski Avenue ends at Sheridan, and then it turns into a gated access to the pump house access road.
So Pulaski Avenue then would be to the right of this camera.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to play this 48-second clip. And when you see it, detective, please point out what you were talking about.
Right there.
All right, I've paused it at 33 seconds. It's this set of lights I'm circling here.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to play it from 33. And the lights have disappeared, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so by 2:54:17 a.m. on the camera, the lights are gone.
That's correct.
And would that be consistent with the vehicle arriving at that gate around that time?
That's correct.
The next clip I'm going to play is titled 6 CUPD. We're looking at the same camera now, correct?
That's correct.
But a different time.
Correct.
What time are we looking at?
4:32 a.m.
I'm going to play this clip. It's 39 seconds. What are we going to see?
From the last location that we saw the lights earlier on the previous video, you will see those LED headlights again, and they will appear to be traveling in the opposing direction, heading west on Pulaski Avenue.
Away from the lake.
Correct.
Okay. Tell us when you see them.
Right there.
All right, so about 4:32:24,
That's correct.
playing, I paused it at 17 seconds, I'm playing it from there. And by 4:32:38-ish, they're off camera, correct?
That's correct.
Last clip, it's titled 8 CUPD, different camera. Tell us what we're looking at.
This is the camera that's on the west side of the Cudahy Police Department. It is facing southwest, and you see Lake Drive is the road directly to the west of that parking lot.
So Lake Drive would be this road here,
That's correct.
and to get to Pulaski Avenue, which would get you into Warmont Park, if you were here, you would essentially go down this street and you would turn left up here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What are we going to be looking for and see on this one?
The subjects or the vehicle that was captured on Pulaski Avenue. We'll not be able to see it traveling on Pulaski Avenue, but on the houses on the left side of the video frame, you're going to see those houses lighted by headlights that would be coming towards them. You'll then see a vehicle that will enter the camera frame traveling north.
Away from Pulaski Avenue,
Correct.
playing clip 8. 8 CUPD. It's 55 seconds. Tell us when we see what you just described, please.
And there's the start of the headlights.
All right, I'm going to pause it at 36 and back up 10 seconds to 26. Play it again. Right there?
Yes.
And now you see the headlights of a vehicle heading northbound?
That's correct.
Okay. Paused at 44 seconds. What general description can you get of the vehicle from that?
That vehicle appears to be a smaller sedan with, correct.
All right, dark colored?
Yes, sir.
And what did you say about the timestamp here related to the other timestamp? So right now it's just gone off frame at 4:34:56 a.m.
This camera that faces west appeared to be about 40 seconds fast, a little bit different from the camera on the east.
Okay. Exhibit 12 is going to come up next. This is the Cudahy High School video. About to see somewhat of a similar camera frame, but depicting similar areas, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Going to start with the video labeled 450- student lot. Just take a minute to load quick. Was there, and while that's loading, let me ask you, Detective, Was there a specific reason why you were looking for video footage from these locations from that specific time frame of 2:50 a.m. to about 4:40 a.m.?
We had received records from Life 360 that depicted that the victim's phone had been in the area between 2:50 a.m. and 4:30 a.m.
So you zoned in on that time frame because that was the information you had about when Sade's phone appeared to have been in the area of Warnemont Park, correct?
That's correct.
And it obviously goes without saying, you had known already that a leg had been found there on April 2nd.
Yes,
When was it that you were going to collect these videos then? Would it have been that day?
I would have started on April 3rd.
All right. I have the student parking lot video queued up here. This one is sort of difficult to see, but what are we going to want to be looking at? If you could orient the jury, please.
On the upper left-hand side of the video, you'll see again a white shed. That is the same shed I pointed out in the Cudahy Police Department video. And
The thing I'm circling here,
yes, it is.
okay?
To the right is a building is going to be on the right side. That is the Cudahy Police Department where we had the other video from.
Okay.
What we're going to see is going to be on the upper left side of the video. And you'll see headlights again traveling on Pulaski east away from the camera towards the pump house access road.
Okay, and this is obviously in a different video player. Your date and timestamp for this video is down here in the lower left-hand corner, correct?
Correct.
And the road you're talking about, this would be that white shed. The road is right about over here, fair?
That's correct.
Is this where general area where we're gonna see the lights from that same vehicle from the other video?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna cue it up. What can you tell us about the date and timestamp being accurate for this video?
The Cudahy High School is one of the first places that I had access to recover video footage. While I was in the school resource officer's office, I reviewed the timestamp and confirmed that they were correct to the second.
Based on checking your time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna play this video from 2:52 a.m. to 2:53 a.m. And detective, if you could, if Your Honor will allow the witness to stand up and point out what he's talking about, as it is kind of small on the top of the screen.
That's fine. Just pull that microphone as far over as you can.
Can you bring the mic with you if possible?
Ooh, I apologize for that.
All right, playing at 2:52:02 a.m.
Right here. Right where I just pointed was a vehicle traveling east on Pulaski.
All right, where my mouse is circling here?
That's correct, and it's pulling up to a four-way stop sign at the intersection of Sheridan.
So it can either go left to go north on Sheridan, right to go south towards the golf course, or straight to the gate of the Pump House Road, correct?
That's correct.
And what does it do?
It goes straight and towards the Pump House access road.
And you know that because you can't see its lights going to the left or right, fair?
That's correct.
Pausing it at 2:52:58 a.m. Now, this video has a scroll bar at the bottom, and I can move it, and the video will play with it, correct?
That's correct.
Have you gone through this to see if there's any other any other vehicles that go that same direction down towards that service road in between the times of 2:52 a.m. and 4:30 a.m.?
I did.
Are there any other vehicles that travel that route
No, they're not.
or come out of there?
I observed nothing of note when reviewing the video footage in between the timeframes.
All right, and I'm scrolling ahead on the bottom here, and I'm gonna go all the way up until 4:34 a.m. Or as close as I can get. All right, I'm going to play it from 4:37 a.m. What are we going to see?
You'll see a pair of headlights that will come out of where the pump house access road is, which is the last place we saw the vehicle traveling.
Please point out when you see it. Oh, I'm sorry, I have the wrong time. I'm going back to 4:30:50. Or I'm going to start it from 4:30:43. Do you see it?
Yes.
Point to it, please. Okay. Very faint.
Very faint, but in the upper left-hand corner of the video.
Where does it appear the vehicle immediately goes to?
The vehicle is going to make a left turn onto Sheridan and enter Warnemont Park.
Towards the golf course?
Correct.
And is that a through road down there?
No, it's not. It dead ends at the golf course at a parking lot.
Okay. And why don't you describe what we're looking at as it's happening, as the video continues to play forward here. It's now at 4:31:46.
You can see lights inside of Warnemont Park, and the vehicle has entered into the area and now has turned around at the dead end and is heading back north on Sheridan towards Pulaski.
Is that it, right where my mouse is here?
The vehicle is now approaching the four-way stop sign at Pulaski and is going to make a left turn and head west on Pulaski towards Lake Drive.
Okay. So it's kind of coming towards the camera, fair?
Yes,
And now it's turning westbound on Pulaski.
that's correct.
All right. And it's heading west, and it's going to go behind that white shed at this point, correct?
Correct.
All right. Pause it at 4:33 a.m. I'm going to now bring up the video on this disc titled 400 Main Entrance. And while that's loading, Detective, essentially what you observed there was a vehicle entering the service road around somewhere in the 2:52 to 2:53 a.m. hour, correct?
That's correct.
That vehicle, you never see a vehicle go in or out in the meantime up until about 4:30:50 a.m.
That's correct.
And when the vehicle leaves, it goes down the dead end road and then appears to have doubled back, go back to Pulaski, and then leave the part to the west.
That's correct.
That's what we just watched.
Yes, sir.
All right. Would that have been consistent with what was on that Cudahy police video as well?
Yes, sir.
That camera's a little clearer though.
Much clearer.
I have on the screen now the video from the main entrance to the school, right?
That's correct.
Okay, just very briefly, let me go back to the map here. So those videos we watched from the police department, the other high school camera, we got the car going down Pulaski, following where my pen is going, around 252. It then goes into Warnemont here, or into the service road here, right?
That's correct.
Comes out at 4:30, little after 4:30, goes south off of this map, comes back north, and then heads out onto Pulaski, ultimately turning north onto what would be Lake Drive.
That's correct.
The camera we're about to watch is right where my pen is at here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Essentially, what are we about to see?
You're about to see the vehicle traveling north on Lake Drive.
I'm gonna play this video at 4:34 a.m. $4:33:56. Where should we be looking, by the way? Can you point to it?
Yes,
All right, you're pointing to the upper right portion,
yes, sir.
and the vehicle is gonna kind of follow where my mouse is going, correct?
Yes, that is Lake Drive. And the headlights are now entering.
Okay. And you're able to see, if I pause it at 4:34:29, it appears to be sort of a dark sedan style vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Off the screen by 4:34:31, right?
That's correct.
Okay, let me just say something real quick. For the camera, I don't think the cameras are bad. I think that school camera, they have things that they're trying to see the students. I don't think they were thinking about the parking lot when they placed those cameras. Now when the budget comes up, they might put some cameras in the parking lot if in fact this has now become a cut through to get to the lake. And also, just weird shit can be happening, and you know what I mean? Now, as far as Maxwell, baby, he looks a mess. If I saw him in an alley, he reminds me of, remember when Terminator, whoever the character was, that blonde-headed guy who came to kill the Terminator, was it Arnold Schwarzenegger was the Terminator, right? Yeah, he was the Terminator. And then remember someone came to kill the Terminator? That's what he looks like. Can 8 more please hit the thumbs up? That would be good. Thank you so much. If you have not tapped in yet, won't you? Okay. Okay, let's get back to it.
All right, I'm gonna put in Exhibit 11 now. This is gonna be the pump house video. This might take some time, Judge, just so the court's aware.
Does the jury need a break to stretch your legs for a few minutes? Let's do that. Let's take a 5-10 minute break. Give him a moment to set this up. Just leave your notebooks on your chair, please. Are the next videos brighter?
Okay, guys, I had to walk away for a second. What did I miss?
That's what
Oh,
we
yeah.
just watched.
Yes, sir.
All right. Would that have been consistent with what was on that Cudahy police video as well?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That camera's a
Well,
little
he
clearer,
looks real
though.
scary.
Much clearer.
It's giving Terminator. It's giving like Terminator 3. The let's see.
I have on the screen now the video from the main entrance to the school, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So those videos we watched from the police department following 4:30.
What did they just take like a little break? Okay, let's see.
Here, please.
Yes, he can set up the next video. Okay.
Are the next videos brighter?
Okay. Okay. I think Maxwell's going down. His lawyer, I saw, let me see. His lawyers, I guess, I think their tactic is to play a little bit kind of like they don't really know what's going on. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Maxwell Anderson's lawyers. Maxwell Anderson goes on trial for killing Sade Anderson. Here's what the two defense attorneys say. What to know about Andrew Cotton, defense attorney? Okay, we're gonna find out. We Vince to find out. What to know about Anthony Cotton? Waukesha defense attorney Anthony Cotton is the man who will represent accused killer Maxwell Anderson at trial. Anderson, 34, of Milwaukee, is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson in the death last April of Sade Robinson. Trial for Anderson begins May 27th. Cotton was born and raised in Waukesha, went to Catholic Memorial High School before studying University of Wisconsin in Madison, graduated from Marquette School of Law 2005. So he's been practicing for 20 years. He joined the firm Kutchler and Cotton in 2005, firm based in Waukesha, run by his mother, Donna. Okay. Who represented Jesse Krzyzewski in 2024 in what became known as Eyedrops homicide trial. Yeah. Okay. Anthony's 44. He represented Morgan Geiser, one of the defendants in the Slender Man case. You guys remember that? The Slender Man case? That was awful. Isn't that those two bad girls who tried to kill their friend? Yeah. Those two little crazy girls. If you want to look up a bugged out crazy case, look up the Slender Man case, okay? Girl, that's some crazy shit. He represented Morgan Geiser, the two little mentally disturbed girls. One of the defendants from the Slender Man and Waukesha case, 2014. It'll make you never want your kids to have friends, okay? Morgan Geiser and Anissa Weir, who stabbed their classmate, a friend, and left her for dead in the park. The girl survived, thank God. The girls survived the stabbing. Geiser and Weir were found not guilty by reason of mental disease and defect and ordered to be in mental institution for decades-long commitments in 2017. Weir was released in 2021, and Geiser, represented by Cotton, was approved for conditional release March 6th of 2025, even though they were still looking at weird demonic BDSM, like weird shit on their weird stuff. Cotton was also a lawyer for Dominic Black, who faced weapons charges in November 2020 for legally giving a rifle to Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old acquitted of killing two people during protests at the Kenosha earlier that year. Black took a plea in order to avoid criminal conviction. I don't know. I just feel like there's too much going on. If this guy's going to come in and play like stupid, and then Max is sitting there like, duh, I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, the people of Milwaukee understand that Sade didn't just go do this to herself. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't just go into the park and this just happened. Okay. Cotton was hired by Yale law professor during the second year of law school to investigate human rights abuses in Eritrea, East Africa. He traveled throughout Eritrea and interviewed civilians and prepared claims for people who had been victimized as a result of the Eritrean. I feel like I always pronounce Eritrean wrong. Eritrean Ethiopian War. The article originally appeared in Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Okay. That's it. Just kind of a little blurb. Maxwell Anderson's trial and murder of Sade is underway. Here's what we know. Over a year after 19-year-old college student Sade Carlina Robinson was reported missing, Maxwell S. Anderson is standing trial for murder. Anderson, 34, has been charged with killing and dismembering Robinson, who was last seen April 1st, 24. In the weeks after she was reported missing, severed human remains discovered around Milwaukee County, and her car was found burned. According to court records, Robinson was last seen alive on a date with Anderson. He was arrested shortly after her disappearance and has remained in jail since. Here's what we know about the case and the charges. Sade was a student at Milwaukee Area Technical College, a month away from earning her associate's degree in criminal justice. As a student, she worked at the Pizza Shuttle in Milwaukee's East Side. Growing up, Robinson split time between Milwaukee and Florida, where her father lives, but began living in Milwaukee full-time as a teenager. She went to attend Riverside High School, where she graduated a semester early in December 21. Anderson grew up in the suburb of Waukesha and graduated Pewaukee High School in 2009. His long history of legal trouble began as a teenager. He was caught drinking underage on multiple occasions, ran from police several times, received citations and property damage, and obstructing an officer. He's a bum. Hold on. Portia Hush. As soon as it comes back on, I'll flip the screen back, but it seems like they're just on hold right now. What's the time of events leading up to? Well, we know. Did they post the criminal complaint? There's the mom and the dad. Sheena Scarborough. Is that her dad? He was at the memorial. So this is location of the arrest. I guess location Lisbon, location This is the burning car. 30th and Galena, more human remains. I think it was awful because for a period of time, people kept finding her remains. Shoreline near Marina Road, human remains on April 18th. This is the initial site right here. Then on 39th in Oklahoma. Okay, that's the location of the arrest. 30th and Galena, more human remains on April 6th. Shuttle Pizza, that's where she worked right there by the water. 30th in Lisbon, that's where his car was burning. So they have the map, kind of shows you. I didn't know Milwaukee sat on the water like this. I'm sure it's very nice. I'm pronouncing it right. Look at me, okay? Look at me. Girl, that hooked on phonics paid off, huh? I'm sure it's so pretty there. Growing up in New Jersey, I grew up in Bergen County and we were right there by the Hudson River. I actually grew up on Hudson Avenue and we're right there at the Hudson River. And you cross from where I live, you cross the Hudson River to go into Manhattan. And growing up, like being on the water, you kind of take it for granted until you're like landlocked. Like now I couldn't be any further from water, even though we have two really nice sized lakes here in the Charlotte area. But it's different when you've got a massive body of water, or you're right there at the beach. Like we're 3 hours away from the beach. And I'm sure living on the water is nice. I miss living by water. Okay, they're back. Hold on.
And he's sitting behind me right now, approached me and indicated that he believed that juror was was a treating doctor of his. He then told me her name and I checked and it is her. So I informed defense counsel of that. That's the only thing I would add to that. And I don't have anything else regarding that.
And the doctor treated the witness, but is not an ongoing doctor-patient relationship, is that correct?
You can speak.
Just general practice, like I see her once a year.
He sees her for a physical, basically.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like he sees her for a physical or something. It's
That's what
fine.
it sounds like.
It's not an issue for us.
Okay, then, anything further to address on the record at this time?
No.
Defense?
No.
Okay,
Oh, so there was drama. Sounds like one of the witnesses looked at somebody in the jury potentially and realized that that was his doctor or nurse or medical professional. Maybe he said doctor. And I guess they don't have any kind of personal relationship. I make friends with all my doctors, Lisa, I'm very friendly with my doctors, but if he just goes once a year for a physical, they don't have anything other than a professional relationship. The prosecutor said it was fine. So I guess they had to flush that out.
then we'll bring the jury back in, and then Deputy Benz.
I knew something had happened.
Videos are kind of dark as well, so if we could again dim the lights, that'd be great. Thank you.
Can we raise the volume too? I'm glad that they're very super aware of the listening experience for us, the people that we want to hear, and please speak into your microphone. Yeah, I can only that high school that's right there, the Cudahy High School sitting right there on the cliff. That looks like it's probably really nice. Just even just getting that fresh air, being close to the water is just, it's an experience. We the people want to hear, right, Jay Breezy? Okay, so guys, we're gonna keep this going. I mean, this is only a 2-week trial. We're gonna soldier through, right? We're gonna make it tomorrow and Friday, and then we'll have to go back to regular programming
Going back on the record at this time, when we last.
over the weekend, and then we're gonna power through next week, okay?
Detective, you're still under oath, State, are you prepared to proceed?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And we're dimming the lights again.
Yep. While he does that, dims the lights, I have now, this is exhibit number 11. We're gonna watch 2 cameras. This is gonna be the Cudahy Water Department video, correct?
Correct.
All right, and thank you for pulling the mic with you. This video that we're watching
Okay, then we
here,
seeing some video
is
now. Look at
from
this.
The actual water department, not the pump house, correct?
That's correct.
So, this, where my mouse is scrolling right here on the upper right, what street is that?
That's Pulaski.
And the date and timestamp on this video, it says April 2, 2024, 2:59:59. Is that off?
It is, but the video is approximately 37 minutes and 52 seconds fast.
Okay. And so I'm going to cue this video up.
He might have also did it
29 minutes,
outside the
50
car
seconds
in the
that-
woods, and with the rain and the snow that was coming, they said it was a gnarly, kind of nasty day. It's possible that he might have done it in the woods.
Means 3:29,
You think?
49.
He's
Roughly
disgusting.
2:52 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to play just 15 seconds. What are we going to see, by the way?
You're going to see a car traveling east on Pulaski Avenue from the bottom right corner, approximately right here, and then traveling upwards east towards Sheridan and Warnemont Park.
In the precise direction of that service gate, correct?
Correct.
Playing at 29:50.
Or down on the beach, even. What if he had taken her down onto the beach and was trying to
Right,
get
and there it is.
Correct.
All right.
get
It's
the
off
water to
camera
wash her away?
By 3:30:02. That would have been just after 2:52 a.m. real time, correct?
Correct.
The general description of the vehicle, dark sedan, fair to say?
That's correct.
Next clip, that was clip, starts with the number 1. We're just gonna go forward. This is clip 2. Same camera, correct?
Correct.
And I have it queued up. The timestamp here is 5:09:49. But really, what time would that be?
It would be about 4:31 in the morning.
Okay? Playing from that time. All right, and you see the headlights up here?
Correct.
Where is that vehicle coming from or going to?
That appears to be Warnemont Park and near the golf course parking lot.
All right, so that would faintly be capturing when the car leaves the service road and heads south towards the golf course, correct?
That's correct.
Down the dead end.
Yes, sir.
And then it returns to Pulaski, and if the other video showed us anything, it's going to drive right by this camera again, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And there it is.
And there's the vehicle traveling, and it's traveling west towards Lake Drive.
All right, off camera, and by timestamp 11:11 on the video is where I paused it. So what time is this real time, roughly?
It'd be about 5:33 or 4:33 in the morning.
All right. I'm gonna move to camera 1. This is video number 3 on this exhibit. What are we looking at here, Detective?
So this is the video that was.
Uh-oh,
that I
this one
recovered
might be
from the
showing
pump
something.
house. It is facing northeast. Towards the bottom of the video here, you see kind of the sidewalk that goes around the pump house. off to the left side of the video. Over there, that is going to be where the gravel parking lot is. And directly towards the front and center is the end of the parking lot, which is approximately probably like 6 to 8 feet down to beach level. And the tree line to the left on the left side has a couple of small hiking trails that allow you to walk along the bluff and down towards the beach.
Okay, so where my mouse is at right now, is that the general area of where those trails would be to get down towards the waterfront?
Yes,
And when you, obviously you can't see it very well because it's dark here, but beyond that and down by that waterfront, about 100 to 150 yards away from this area, that's where the leg was found, correct?
correct.
You looked at this camera angle from about what time to what time?
From that 250 to 445.
Okay, and that's because the videos that we just watched show that car going down towards this area shortly after 2:52, 2:53 a.m., correct?
Correct,
And nothing comes out in that meantime, correct?
correct.
Is there a similar camera that faces the opposite direction, the southbound direction?
I didn't hear you.
Asked and answered.
I think you can, he's trying to clarify. You can answer it if you're able.
Yes, there's another camera that's on the south side and faces east, capturing the sidewalk in Lake Michigan.
And you watched those video clips as well?
Yes.
All right. Did you notice something on this video camera that you did not notice on the other video camera?
Yes, I noticed headlights along the bluff and a shadow of a person in the tree line.
All right. A human silhouette, more or less?
Yes.
I'm going to cue this video up to 30 minutes and 36 seconds. The timestamp says 3:35 a.m. So this would be about 2:53 a.m. real time?
Correct.
All right. And I'm going to use the zoom feature. That parking slab, if you drive down the Pump House Road, it would actually be a little off camera to the left here, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, but on this clip, what are we going to see?
You're going to see headlights illuminating that left side portion of the bluff that I just pointed to.
Okay. Playing at 30:36. And if you can, I want you to point it out when you see it.
The lights are now coming on towards the left side.
Okay? Very faint, correct?
Correct.
I'm now going to advance the video to 39:16. This would be about 3:02 a.m., is that correct?
That's correct.
Real time. The camera says 3:39:15, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now what
Yeah,
are
it's,
we going
oh,
to
I'm
start
sorry,
seeing?
guys. I'm gonna put
You're gonna
myself
see
back
that
on mute. I
human
didn't realize I
silhouette
was
in
off
between
mute.
the tree line, and I'll point to where we'll be looking. And it'll be in this area where the lake is behind the trees, so it allows us to see the roof or the silhouette from the lights on.
I'm going to say this. I think if, let's say he had some, let's just say, I'm not saying he did. I'm answering your question. This one. Okay. Let's just say he had neo-Nazi stuff or he had some sort of black girl fetish above and beyond. He's just a white guy who likes black women, like something weird. I think that would have come out. I'm not saying he doesn't have some sort of, but they're not, that's not a focus of this trial. Okay. Also, I do think that, it's 2025. I think that if there was any inkling that this was overtly racially motivated, it might have just been she was a beautiful woman. That could have just been she was sexy, she was beautiful, she he was able to make contact with her. I don't know if it had anything to that it was racial. I would think that once they arrested him, if he had like weird racist stuff in his house, he was against, you know what I mean? Like this was racially motivated, above and beyond. Maybe he's just into black women, or maybe he did target a black woman. I'm not really, you know what I mean? It's nothing that we've heard. I think if that was the case, we would know. We would have known something. I think we would have seen some different lawyers show up. You know what I mean? I think uh that's just my first guess. If there had been some racial motivation behind it, I think we would know that by now. But I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know everything. But maybe it'll come out. Maybe there will be something that comes out about his proclivities outside of him just making contact with this woman,
Pump house with the lake in the background.
I'm going to play this from 3916 to 4022. And I want you to point it out.
Well,
effectively.
also, let's be real. Hate crimes can get lost in the sauce. And then years go by and Mrs. Scarborough and Sade's father don't have justice. Sade's sister, you know what I mean? They have no justice. So maybe if it is racially motivated, at the end of the day, she was murdered. So maybe that's the most important thing to them. That it happened and not so much, I don't know. But sometimes those cases can get, they get lost, and somebody can get away, and then next thing you know, we've got a serial killer on our hands. You know what I mean? All right, let's get back to
When
it.
you see it.
I can already see right in the left area towards the middle.
He's a total sicko. I agree. His fetish might be killing,
And now
right?
walking in between these two
Like
trees.
Wade, he didn't really care.
And right here again, in between the other two trees.
Does it appear he bends over right there?
Yes, sir. And now the individual, the silhouette, is standing behind the tree and is going to walk back towards the tree line and will no longer be visible.
Really? I didn't know what was going on. I think he was either positioning himself or had been positioning himself. Fair, are you okay? Girl, when the little teenagers start screaming all of a sudden, it's like, what's going on?
I'm going to go back and play it just in slight fast forward. Point it out again, please.
The person's walking down into the tree line and should be exposed here and continues. You'll bend over.
Y'all see it right there?
Right there?
Yes, sir. And then now stands back up and is going to walk back into that tree line.
Oh, that's not a woman. That's not Sade. Did y'all see that? Hold on.
4020.
Look at the figure. Y'all see it?
And then now stands back up and is going to walk back into that tree line.
I bet you he did that in the, yeah, you know what? They need to light that whole thing up. They need to put some telephone poles. They need to just go ahead. Whoever lives out there in Milwaukee, y'all need to vote for that. Get them to put telephone poles up 20 feet apart and flood the damn coastline. It's no reason why it should be that dark out there. I mean, yes, you don't want light pollution and all that other stuff, but when you got people out here using the beautiful area as a dumping ground and to play their nasty games, light that shit up. You know what I mean? You got to make it safe. He came out there because he knew it was pitch black. All those cameras out there, and you still couldn't see nothing.
Paused at 40:22, and then last clip on this one. Advancing the video to 43:16, I'm going to play to 44:52. What are we going to see on this clip?
We're gonna see that same silhouette, and it's gonna be entering the same area that we saw before, except this time we'll see the silhouette going down towards the beach level and exiting camera.
Playing at 43:16. Please point it out, Detective, when you see it.
I can already see a little bit of the disruption as the shadow walks through, and the silhouette's now visible in between the trees.
You see that, guys? It's like the boogeyman. Hold on.
And visible in between as
Yes,
the
dear.
shadow walks through, and the silhouette's now visible in between the trees. And now the silhouette appears to be hunched over. There are rocks and other things to climb over in that area. The silhouette then moves down and disappears from camera.
I'm going to almost say it looks like the person had a hoodie on. Did you see that? Hold on. Look at the silhouette.
Climb over
Hold
in
on. Let
that
me make
area.
it bigger. Let me move our artwork out the way. Let's move. I wanted to keep Sade on the screen, but let's make this nice and big so y'all can see. Look at this.
The silhouette
It
then
almost
moves
looks like he
down
got a hoodie.
and other things. And now the silhouette appears to be hunched over. There are rocks and other things to climb over in that area. The silhouette then moves down and disappears from camera.
I'm going to fast forward slightly briefly.
And right there again, the silhouette is visible down on the rocks / rough terrain that is down towards beach level.
Pause at 44:51. This would be about 3:05 a.m. real time, correct?
Correct.
And after this time, do you see anything else up until about 4:17 a.m.?
I observed nothing else of note until that 4:17.
So that silhouette that descends the bluffs appears, at least from you can see on this video, to stay down there from this time all the way until 4:17.
From what is visible on the camera, yes, that is all that I see.
Playing clip 4. There's 5 total clips. This is clip 4. And I have it queued up to 55 minutes, 22 seconds. What are we going to see on this clip?
We're going to see that same silhouette walking up from the beach level and back into the tree line.
And this would be around that 4:17 a.m. real time, correct?
Correct. And the silhouette is now visible in the area I just pointed to.
Okay. And it appears he's ascending the bluff there.
That's correct.
And now I'm going to fast forward it. So he just came up the bluff,
Correct.
okay? Do you see him again?
Yes, in that same tree line.
Uh-huh,
the
right
silhouette
there.
is again visible. And
It
he
almost
would
looks
be
like he's
descending the
burying
bluff from the
something.
Rocks down to the beach level.
This would be about 4:20 a.m. real time.
Yes,
And I'm going to fast forward till the end of this clip. He's out of view now, correct?
correct.
Lake Michigan moves like the ocean. Gosh.
And that takes us to the end of that clip. And then last but not least, clip 5. We're picking up around, it says 5 o'clock here, but we know that's wrong. This would be about 4:23-ish.
That's correct.
Okay. Going to advance to 4:15. And what are we going to see here? Him come back up the bluff?
Yes, so you'll see the same silhouette ascending the bluff and walking back into that same tree line.
Okay.
Can we be heard at sidebar real quick?
Sure.
Can we take that down just for a second?
Yep.
Oh, you want a sidebar real quick? Oh, okay. Hmm.
State.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Detective, just briefly, the file title's up here. This one says 5. This is number 5, and then it says Cam 1 Anderson 507. Just to be very clear, those were not the video file titles. When you downloaded them, those were renamed for purposes of court presentation. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I knew that that's
Now I'm gonna
what
click,
they were going to have a problem with. If you guys were noticing, if you could see when you see the prosecutor's desktop, the defendant's name is in the title. And I had a feeling they were going to say something because you're using the defendant's name in the title of the file. So one could assume, if you didn't know, you might think, well, why would they? Are they identifying the defendant in these videos? As far as we know, this could be the known assailant, but we're still in the process of a trial. So this person, we don't know that is, these particular videos, we don't know for sure. Now, when they show the videos of Sir on the bus, when we see him on the Milwaukee bus system and we see his face, then it's going to be safe to assume that is Anderson, right? Right now, the assumption is the figure is Anderson because this individual is tracking with Sade's phone, right? So they objected because if you see the files, I think that's what the defense objected to, because when they came back, he clarified that question based on, I feel like what I just said, the file names, and that this is who they assume could have been down and disposing of the leg. So, okay, let's get back to it. My bad.
We are at, according to this clip, 5:04:14. And you indicated, I think, that we're about to see that figure.
I think that's
ascend
what the
to bluff.
sidebar was about.
Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Is this the last time the silhouette appears to come up the bluff?
It is.
Playing at 4:15. Please point out when we see it.
Right there at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of the bluff, you can start seeing the silhouette walking back up into the trees.
Does it appear he has anything on his back?
Girl, it looked like he was carrying a body. It looked like Santa Claus carrying a big old sack over his shoulders. I'm not gonna lie. Did you guys see that? It either was a backpack or it was, I don't know. You guys saw that? Check it out. I'm gonna use my cursor so you guys can see. I'll circle it around.
Right there,
Look.
at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of the bluff, you can start seeing the silhouette walking back up
Like right there, it almost looks like he's got a hump on his back.
into the trees.
Right there, there's like a hump. Yeah, he's walking, and also he's walking up like 45 degrees. You know that, it's cold. There's rocks. He looks certified out of shape, and he's carrying something with some weight to it. So, sir.
Does it appear he has anything on his back?
I did not observe anything
right.
on his back.
I'll go back.
I did. He's coming from right there, coming from off the beach, up, 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 slumped over. There he's walking up.
So he ascended the bluff that time?
Yes, and I observed the backpack or something appearing to be on his back.
All right. Obviously, you can't. It's dark, but it looks like a backpack. Is that what you're saying?
Something large that was on his back.
All right.
A female, a small 5-foot female.
I'm gonna fast forward.
Jay Breezy.
So that's the last time that the figure comes up from down from the shoreline?
That's correct.
Okay.
Boom. So
Fast forwarding the video to 7:04. This would be 5:07:05. So this is about 4:29 a.m. real time, correct?
Correct.
And very, very faintly, are you going to be able to see those lights again on that bluff to the left side of the screen?
Yes, it'll be in the far left side of the screen. You'll see a very faint light that appears.
All right. Even more faint than the first one we saw, though.
Correct.
Understanding that, could you please just make sure to point it out when you see it?
Yes.
All right. Playing at 7:05.
In that area, as I pointed, you could see the light.
I'll do it one more time. Right there?
Yes.
Okay. Very faint, correct?
Correct.
After this time, which would be about 4:29 a.m. real time, is there any more lights on the bluff or silhouette action going on that tree line, going down to the coastline?
No,
All right, so if I understand you correctly, Detective, based on that video, around the time of 3:05 a.m. is when the human silhouette appears to descend the bluff, remain down there until about 4:17 a.m., correct?
that's correct.
And that would be consistent with the times that the vehicle entered the service road where the gate is and then exited subsequently around 4:30 a.m.
That's correct.
If an individual had walked southbound from the pump house, or been going down the bluffs in that direction, would that individual have been captured in some kind of silhouette form similar to what we just saw here?
On the south camera,
Yes, on the south camera.
it only faced the sidewalk in Lake Michigan. There were no bluffs visible.
Okay. A person walking that sidewalk would be visible though?
Correct.
I have no other questions. Thank you, Detective.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. You can have a seat now. You can pull that. Good afternoon. Should we hit the lights back on too?
I think that's a great idea.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
For the last hour or so of your testimony, you've gone through various videos that you collected as part of your work in this case. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
You did other things in this case, but one of your central tasks was to look for any and all video from this area that you could find.
correct.
And that's why the state presented this jury with videos from public buildings and other buildings in that area. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
And correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, as a detective, you take the initiative to go around and look for whatever cameras you can find. Is that basically how it works?
yes, sir.
Did you take your marching orders from anybody? Would Detective Donner, for example, say, I want you to collect it from this building and that building, or do you just use your own judgment?
Sometimes we do get marching orders. Other times, in a case where there's a lot of moving parts, I kind of took my own initiative.
And there were a lot of moving parts here because obviously you've testified about being alerted to a leg that had been found and law enforcement was trying to move rather quickly to try to figure things out. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
And I don't mean quickly in a haphazard way, but just as a sense of urgency, right?
yes,
Because you would agree with me that what you did was, would you agree with me that your work in this case was thorough?
for the most part.
Okay, well, what part wasn't thorough?
I do everything that I can.
Okay. In other words, you could make any mistake another person could make.
Correct.
All right. But in terms of being thorough, you pulled videos from a variety of spots and then you studied them over and over again, right?
Yes,
And you also wrote you even drafted a report on that too.
correct.
And there's a lot of purposes of getting those videos. There's many reasons why you would want video evidence. Fair to say?
Yes,
In particular, one thing that you were looking for was to try to figure out, narrow down the time frame if you could of when this car comes to the area, when it leaves the area, right?
correct.
It's important to pin down timelines, but it's also important to see if there's anything unusual that you see on the tapes, right?
Yes,
If the car stops and interacts with somebody, for example.
yes,
Now, to recap, you pulled video from a school, right? Cudahy High School.
correct.
You pulled video from a water station, water department,
Yes,
as well as the pump station itself.
correct.
But that's not all you looked for. You canvassed the whole area up and down Lake Drive and the surrounding area looking for videos, didn't you?
Myself and several other deputies and detectives all did a video canvas.
Okay. From all the videos you watched, can you determine who is driving Sade Robinson's car?
No,
Can you determine, I suppose you can determine it is Sade Robinson's car. You would feel comfortable making that determination?
based on the videos I saw, it looks similar, but with being a detective, I don't want to say 100% that it could be her car because there could be any number of sedans.
Right, even any number of Honda Civics, for example.
Correct.
And none of the videos that we've watched here show us damage to a vehicle that would be consistent with ramming through a gate, for example.
All of the video qualities being at night and from far distance away, we were unable to get closer views of any type of damage.
Even when you try to use law enforcement tools to zoom in, if you can, you still can't figure it out.
Unfortunately, the zoom features that we have, they just increase pixel size. They don't make things look smoother or better.
And I think I asked this, could you identify the driver of the vehicle?
No,
Could you determine at least gender, male or female?
I didn't even get a look inside of the vehicle to determine anything that was going on.
So obviously the race couldn't be determined, black, African-American, white, Mexican.
Nope.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Warmont Park pump house footage.
Yes,
There's footage going north, footage going south, right?
correct.
And where I think the state left off was asking questions about footage that goes to the south. That's angled more towards Lake Drive. It doesn't capture down by the beach, right?
Correct.
So if somebody were discarding evidence down by that beach area, it wouldn't be captured on that video.
No, because it's 6 to 8 feet, I believe, something like that. But from the parking lot down to the beach, you wouldn't be able to, the camera would be positioned above and that would be blocked.
And in any event, the only footage you looked at was from approximately well, you stopped watching footage at about 5 o'clock in the morning, give or take. Would that be fair to say?
I watched the videos at the water department. I also, I believe, fully recovered videos from, I want to say like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. And I did watch other portions of the videos as much as I could.
Okay, April 3rd, for example, a couple days, a day or two later, do you pull video from April 3rd or no?
No, I did not.
And the pump videos that we saw, it was your testimony that the figure was somewhat of a human silhouette,
Correct.
a black and white figure,
Correct.
grainy images
Yes.
going in the tree line area,
Correct.
which doesn't show us really anything other than some human figure going up and down in that area, right?
Yes.
You can't make out even that the person has a body part that they've discarded, can you?
That's correct. I can't determine that.
Okay. Maybe there's something on the person's back you thought on one of the videos when you watched it again, but you can't even say that that's a backpack, right?
Correct. I can only see what's visible on the cameras, and that's just that silhouette and shadow with the lake in the background.
But the jury's seeing it now here in court, but you've had an opportunity at the department to watch these videos over and over and study them closely, right?
Yes.
And that's something that was critical in this case that you've done. You've spent many hours of time looking at these videos at the sheriff's department.
Yes.
In all the time can you even estimate how many hours do you think you've spent watching the Warnemont pump footage, for example?
It would just be a guesstimate at this point. I couldn't give you a possible number.
Dozens of hours?
Possibly.
And and there's a zoom feature, we saw that, right?
But when it comes to zoom features, they don't actually increase any quality. They just kind of increase the pixel size and what you're able to see.
Yep, so it doesn't even really do a whole lot.
Correct.
Can you determine when you spend all these hours studying the video, can you determine the race of the person?
No.
Can you determine if it's male or female?
No.
Height?
You could probably tell the difference between someone that was 3.5 or 4 feet versus 8 feet, but no.
Somewhere between 3.5 and 8 feet, we could say.
You'd be able to tell the difference of someone that was incredibly short versus incredibly tall, but I cannot make a height estimate.
And obviously hair color, facial features, none of that we can determine.
That's correct.
Now, The other thing you did in this case was you did a canvas, but the canvassing work you did was to look for video footage. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
You weren't doing a canvas to look for gloves or other evidence at the scene, were you?
That would not have been my responsibility. That would have been on other people that were on evidence search. I was focusing on the video footage.
Okay. Yeah. And when we were watching the Warmont Park videos themselves, can you say how many people are down there? I mean, do we know that this is even the same person on these various video clips you're watching?
Based on what we saw, there's camera footage only captures so many angles. There's any number of possibilities, but from what we were able to get from Life 360 and our timeframes, we were able to get an idea of the vehicle in question to this investigation.
Mm-hmm. But that silhouette figure, we don't really know. We don't know where the silhouette figure goes when it disappears from view, right?
Correct.
There's minutes of time during this hour-plus footage where there's gaps, 10-minute gaps, 15-minute gaps where you don't see anything, right?
Correct.
And I guess what I'm asking is based on the quality of this, we don't even know for sure that this is the same silhouette person. Could be 2 people or 3 people for all we know.
Yet there's any number of possibilities. We also take into account those bluffs and the waves and everything else that was happening that night, that it would be extremely unlikely for someone to be down in that area.
Sure, but you're drawing the inference that it's somebody who obviously was involved in this crime, right?
Just generally speaking, it was probably 40-ish degrees, raining, and high waves that the average person probably wouldn't be down in that area.
Right, and I'm not suggesting people were hanging out there. What I'm saying is you don't even know how many people were in this Honda, this car that we've seen on the footage. We don't even know how many people were in that car based on what we saw.
That's correct.
Okay, that's all.
State?
And just to be clear, you were looking at this time frame because it's the time when Sade's phone suggested she was at Warnemont Park, where the leg was later found.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Defense, anything else?
No.
Thank you, Detective. You may step down.
Okay. I am gonna, Judge, I will recall this witness at a later time for a different topic.
Okay, thank you.
State calls Joseph Blanchard.
I thought he was a good witness. I thought the defense is trying to be cute, and just remind the jury that, yeah, but that doesn't identify my client. It doesn't really identify anyone. It's something, it's someone, it's some car. So just want to remind you that doesn't mean it's my client.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
It's Joseph Blanchard, Joseph, Blanchard, Blanchar.
You a detective with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office?
I am,
And how long have you been law enforcement with the Sheriff's Department?
9.5 years.
On April 3rd of 2024, in the afternoon,
He looks like he has on like a what is it, like a 3x5 frontal?
Were you dispatched to
just
the,
joking.
to Warnemont Park regarding some vehicle parts?
I was,
Okay. Did you recover vehicle parts?
I did.
And where were these vehicle parts recovered from?
Near a porta-john restroom area that was near the gate of a access road to the pumping station and around that area.
All right. After recovering them, did you take them and place them on Sheriff's Department inventory?
I did.
Can you just briefly summarize what inventory is?
Inventory is a documented collection of any type of evidence you may get. That's what we use for our evidence system, how we keep track basically of everything that we may or may not collect.
All right, so it's basically so that when you recover something during an investigation, you need to find that very item, you know where to find it.
Yes,
Okay. I'm going to show you a number of exhibits. 28 through 30. 28 through 32. All right. Why don't you take a look at the markings on those? I just handed you a bunch of brown bags, correct?
yes, you have.
But there's identifiers on those bags.
There are.
And are you able, after you look at them, to tell us what those items are?
Yes, these items are items that I have bagged up from the location I just described. Various car parts from a vehicle I've listed as a Honda sedan.
A Honda sedan?
Yeah, some of them say that, yes, a Honda.
All right.
Or just a Honda.
I move those exhibits, what is it, 28 through 32?
28 through 32, yes, sir.
Any objection?
No.
28 through 32 are received.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to show you exhibits 15 through 18. Can you take a look at those photos quickly? Or not quickly, briefly?
Yes, yes, sir.
You recognize those photos?
I do.
Are those photos of Honda vehicle parts?
Yes, they are.
Okay. In addition to those photos, I'm going to show you what have already been marked and entered exhibit 14.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. $22. You recognize that?
Yes,
Okay. 23. Recognize that?
yes,
24.
yes,
All right. And 13. Recognize that?
yes,
Okay. Of those photographs, those are parts of the Honda Civic, correct?
they are.
And did you recover those parts?
I did.
Are they the parts in those bags there?
Yes, it's familiar when I bagged them up with my signature and date and name. If you'd like me to open them or anything. Yes, they look like the parts that I was handling in those pictures.
All right. And after placing those on inventory, were they subsequently sent to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab?
They were.
Judge, I'll move 15 through 18 in and ask to publish briefly.
Any objection?
No.
15 to 18 are received. Go ahead.
All right. Exhibit 15 is on the screen now. This is one of the parts you recovered.
Yes, it is.
16.
Yes,
All right. 17.
yes,
18.
yes.
And in general, Detective, all you could really glean from the parts that you recovered is that they belonged to a dark color Honda vehicle, correct?
That is correct.
All right. When you were in the area of Warnemont Park, did you also spend time canvassing the wooded area to find, see if you could find any other human remains or evidence?
I did.
And did you find anything?
No.
I have nothing else for this witness at this time. He would be recalled later.
Defense?
No.
Thank you. State your next witness.
State calls Christine Shuda.
And if you please remain standing and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Christine Shuda, Christine Schuda.
Ms. Shuda, are you familiar with the address of 1858 North Commerce Street?
I am,
Is that in the city of Milwaukee?
yes.
And how are you familiar with that location?
I used to be the leasing agent, property manager.
Okay, what is at that address?
It's an apartment building
How-
located down by the Milwaukee River.
In what neighborhood is that?
That's the east side, downtown east side. Downtown east side.
And you can pull that microphone
Should I?
towards you. How long were you the leasing agent there?
For 2.5 years.
Based on your job as the leasing agent, did you become familiar with any of the residents?
Pretty much all of them.
Okay, was one of those residents in April 2024 a young woman named Sade Robinson?
Yes,
And did you become familiar with her?
yeah.
Can you describe how many times you think you've interacted with her?
Quite a few times, you know.
Did you develop a relationship with her?
Just as in a professional relationship, I'm quite friendly where I work with all the residents. So yeah, she would come in my office and have conversations with me. My door was always open for that, I guess,
So you actually worked there on a daily basis in that building
every day.
every day? Did you see Sade every day?
No, I didn't see her every day.
In April of 2024, did you become aware that she was missing?
Yes.
How did you become aware of that?
On which date?
Let's start with the second day of April 2024, April 2nd. Did something happen that day that alerted you to the fact that someone thought she was missing?
She had a coworker of hers came to my office and said that Sade had not shown up from work, and it was unusual, and they were concerned, or she was concerned about her. So she asked me if I could use my master key to open her door. And I told her I can't do that. I'm unable to open someone's door with the master key. So she said, will you go upstairs with me to the apartment? And I said, yeah. So we both went up the elevator, went to her apartment, and we knocked on the door. She wanted to knock on the door, and I had no problem with that. So she had explained that Sade didn't show up for work, and I told her, I said, if you're concerned about her, which she seemed to be, I said, you should give her mother a call. And she didn't really want to give her mom a call. And we keep emergency numbers, you know, in a file at work. Instead, I said, well, if you don't want to call her mom, then what you can do is call the police and they'll come and do a welfare check. And she said, okay, well, I'm gonna go, you know, we went back downstairs.
And can I just ask, do you remember what apartment number Sade was renting at the time?
She was in apartment 309.
You reference a welfare check with the police. Did the police come and speak with you then?
Her friend had left. We left together, and her friend left the building and returned to work. And the manager from work, at her work, she discussed it with her manager, and I guess they made a call from there.
Okay, did the police come to 1858 North Commerce and speak to you at some point?
They did.
Okay. And when they arrived, did you show them to Sade's apartment, 309?
I am kind of iffy on that. I need to think for a moment. Can I take a moment to think?
If you don't know the answer, that's fine too.
Well, because what happened was after she went back to work and the friend went back to work, I made whatever phone call. I wasn't at work after that. I had left for the day. And it's unclear to me right now if I had the next day off or not. No, I couldn't have, because the next day when I came into the office, police officers came in and then they wanted to gain access to her apartment, and they had search warrants and everything else with them.
Okay, so you did have contact with the police?
Yes,
Okay.
the next day.
The building, the apartment building, does it have a name, like the name of a building, the apartment complex?
Yes, the name of the apartment complex is Brewers Point Apartments.
Okay, does Brewers Point Apartments have a internal or an external surveillance system?
Yes,
Okay, would you recognize footage from that surveillance system? You're familiar with it?
I am.
Okay. Showing you what's been marked exhibit number 36. Do you recognize what this is?
Yep, that's
I think she's sad. She's crying. She seems sad, nervous, and overstimulated.
36 be received?
Any objection?
No.
36 is received.
This is obviously very hard for you, Ms. Shudo, right?
it is.
Permission to publish?
Go ahead.
Do you recognize where this still photo is taken? What part of the building?
I'm sorry. This photo is of Sade coming out the elevator. of the apartment building of the main lobby.
All right, thank you. I don't have anything further.
Cross? Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Thank you.
State?
State calls Eddie Feliciano.
Sir, if you could just remain standing and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, if you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Eddie Feliciano.
Mr. Feliciano, good afternoon.
Could you spell your first and last name for the record, please?
Okay. EDDIE FELICINO.
Please proceed.
Mr. Feliciano, are you familiar with the address of 1858 North Commerce Street?
Yes,
How are you familiar with that location?
I'm maintenance in the building.
Your maintenance for the
Yes.
building? Okay. How long have you worked in maintenance at that building?
Almost 2 years.
In your work there, did you become familiar with any of the residents?
Yes,
Did you become familiar with a woman named Sade Robinson?
yes,
How long do you think you knew her?
like 8 months around.
Okay. And you knew her in April, at the beginning of April of 2024?
Yes,
Based on you knowing who she is and your job in maintenance at the building, were you aware of what kind of car she drove?
yes.
What kind?
Honda Civic,
How would you describe Sade?
a good person.
Personal?
Not very good person.
A very good person?
Yes,
What color was her car?
I think it's great. Oh, sorry, like dark blue, like blue, dark color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see her the morning of April 1st, 2024?
Yes,
Do you remember how you interacted with her?
she said bye to us.
Who's us?
Me and my other coworker,
Who's that?
Gamaliel Vegas.
Can you repeat the name?
Gamaliel.
Do you know how to spell that by chance?
No.
No. State, do you know? Can you spell that for the record for us?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Take a stab.
Can you say the name again, sir?
Gamaliel.
Camarilo? LLO? Okay.
That sound right, Mr. Feliciano?
Hmm? Give me a second.
Mr. Feliciano?
I think he was checking his
Oh,
phone for the
okay.
proper spelling is what was happening.
Mhm.
And now just for the record, he's showing it to the court reporter to document the spelling of that. Thank you. Good. Okay, thank you.
No.
Okay, next question.
Did you have contact with the Milwaukee Police Department?
Mm. She contacted me at 3 o'clock in the morning, around 3 o'clock in the morning.
A police officer?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you help the police department with?
They contact me asking for her apartment number, and I told them which apartment number, and they told me like, you can open the door for us.
And did you do that?
Yes,
Okay. That apartment building also has cameras, right?
yes.
And did you help the Milwaukee Police Department obtain surveillance footage?
No, everything do the secretary. Is the one do like cameras.
Can you repeat everything?
The secretary is the one do the cameras.
The
Or the-
secretary?
Yes,
Are you talking about Ms. Shuda?
yes.
Okay. Did Sade have a parking spot that was assigned to her?
Yes,
Do you remember where that was?
I know it's all the way to the front. You know, to
Where,
the
where,
building.
where is the parking lot for that building?
It's, I don't remember the number for the, you know, because every single spot have the number for the spot, but I don't remember. I know it's close to the street.
Okay, the apartment building's on the river, right? So one part of the building faces the river. And then where is the parking lot in relation to the front of the building?
It's like, when, okay, the front of the building is right here, it's all the way to the like, to the end, to the building.
Is it actually in front of the building?
Yes,
Okay, and she had one of those parking spots.
yes,
That parking lot borders Commerce Street.
yes.
I have nothing further.
Defense?
No.
Thank you, sir. You may sit
Thanks.
down. State?
I'm gonna check the hallway, see who's here.
Attorney Vance-Curzan?
Yes.
I'm planning on stopping at 4:45. So if you have a quick one out there.
Okay, I'll try to find it. Thank you.
Okay.
Mhm. State calls Angela Young.
This might be the friend that reported her missing because I feel like in the police report it said something about AJ. They only used initials, and this might be the friend that reported her. I don't know.
State and spell your name for the record.
First name is Angela, Angela. Last name Young, Jung.
Miss Young, were you familiar with somebody named Sade Robinson?
Yes,
Can you describe what your relationship was with her?
friend and coworker.
How long did you know her?
Maybe 4 years, if I had to guess.
Would you describe yourselves as friends?
Yeah.
Can you talk about what you would do with her? Did you socialize, go out?
Not really outside of work, no.
Okay. Because you work together, did you get to know her?
Yes.
Okay, can you describe her?
I don't know. She was a really sweet girl. She was really smart. She was really motivated. And she had big plans.
Based on your friendship with her, did you have her phone number?
Yes,
Do you remember that phone number today?
I don't.
Is that something that you would have shared with the police?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what type of car she drove?
Yeah,
What was that?
it was a Honda.
Do you remember the color?
I don't. I think it was black. Maybe it was blue.
Were you aware of where she was living?
Yes.
Do you remember the address or general area?
Yeah.
What is that?
Gosh, I can't think of the name of the street. Right off Humboldt, around the corner from Pick and Save. I can't think of the street offhand.
Was it down by the Milwaukee River?
Yeah.
Had you ever been there?
Yeah.
Can you give us a physical description of Sade?
She was slender, about my height, so shorter, on the shorter side, maybe 5'2", 5'3". Her hair was kind of short, but she wore it all different ways, and sometimes she wore wigs, so it was never really the same.
If I didn't know better, I would have thought that they just found this person off the street. This is actually the girl that went to the apartment complex to report that she hadn't been to work and she was worried about her, but her overall demeanor is a weirdo. Also, I'm trying to figure out, is it hot in Milwaukee? Because baby, I got on a vest. I have on a Adidas vest today and a long sleeve shirt. I don't know if maybe it's just I'm getting cold in my old age. um Relatively, right? Like it's not hot yet. I know it was Memorial Weekend, but it's not hot yet. Okay? Um you would think this lady, they just picked her up off the street like, "Hey, oh yeah, I think I know her." If you know somebody well enough to be worried and calling the police and going to the apartment complex, like I feel like something's wrong. Damn it. The fuck? Okay, this is weird.
We just show you exhibits 33 and 34 and ask you if you recognize.
Girl, she was trying to be cute because she knew that this was going to be nationally televised. It was going to be on the blogs. And she thought she was going to wear her little lilac sundress. Okay. Baby, it's cold outside. What are you doing in a sundress? That's lilac sundress weather, Tampa. Okay. Waukesha, what's the place called? Milwaukee and town of where the Pulaski Street is, baby, that's cold.
Those are Sade.
Photographs.
Yeah.
Those are consistent with what she looked like when you knew her.
Yeah,
She was
her-
dying
her
for it
and
to
the
be
next one was
summer.
her when
She
she
said, "I'm
was
wearing my
fishing
purple dress."
in Jamaica.
I'd ask that exhibits 33 and 34 be received
Any objection?
No.
They're received.
and published.
Go ahead.
And you knew her well enough to know that she went on a vacation to Jamaica?
Yeah.
And you knew her well enough that you recognize this photograph as having been taken in her residence?
Yeah.
Did you contact law enforcement on April 2nd, 2024?
I did,
Why?
because I could not reach Sade and she had not shown up to work that morning, and that wasn't like her, and I was scared.
So she was scheduled to work.
Mhm.
You were at work.
I was not at work.
Okay.
No.
How did you
Um,
know that she didn't show up?
I messaged somebody at work saying that we had talked a few days before about her possibly getting a raise and a new position. And I messaged somebody at work saying that we should probably go forward with that. And they said she didn't come to work today.
Okay, and you're referencing your employment at the Pizza Shuttle.
Yes.
What was your position there?
Management.
And what was Sade's?
She worked cash register and answered phones.
Do you remember how long she had worked there?
If I had to guess, between 3 and 4 years, it had been a while.
You said that her not coming to work was very unusual
Very unusual.
and that you were scared.
I was,
Why?
because it wasn't, I mean, if she was even gonna be late, she would text me or call. And when I messaged her, I said, please just text me and let me know you're okay, because she doesn't have to come to work. She doesn't have to answer her phone. But I just wanted her to let me know that she was okay, and I knew she would if she could. And when she didn't, I got very scared.
You tried to call her,
I did.
and what happened when you did that?
I think it went to voicemail. Otherwise, it just rang and rang.
What else did you do?
I texted her and I went by her apartment.
What did you do at her apartment?
I just pulled into the parking lot, looked for her car, didn't see it. Spun around, sat there for a minute, hoping that I'd see her. And when I didn't, I drove home.
Did you go into the building at all?
I did not. No.
Do you recall seeing any social media that Sade would have posted the night before?
I did not until the next day.
Okay. So was that on April 2nd that you saw some social media?
That would have been on April 3rd. I don't really use social media, but I saw it on somebody else's phone the next day.
Okay, what did you see?
It was a Snapchat.
And what was it? Was it a photograph?
It was not, no. It was a Snapchat from a bar on Water Street, I think, where she was playing some kind of bar game. Beer pong maybe, something like that.
Okay, so was it an image that you saw?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it was video.
okay. Based on not being able to get a hold of her and not being able to find her at her house, what did you do?
I drove to the police station.
Do you remember what police station?
The one on Lincoln and 5th Street-ish?
So down on the near south side?
Yes.
And what did you do?
I asked them if I could file a missing persons report, and they told me that first they would have to do a wellness check. And I said, okay. And I gave them her address, and they said they would send somebody out and they would contact me and let me know what happened.
Did they contact you?
So I did see that they contacted me in the morning. When I woke up, I had a few missed calls, and I was a little bit worried about that because I don't know, it seemed like a lot of missed calls, and it was very late at night, like 2 in the morning. So instead of returning the call then, I just drove back to the police station to see what was going on.
Did you make a second report then?
I did not. I went in and said that I had missed some phone calls. I had been there the night before to ask for a wellness check or a missing persons report to be filed, and asked them what had happened with it. And the person at the counter went in back. I stood there for a few minutes, and when they came back, they said they had made contact with her.
Okay, so that would have been on April 3rd.
Yes,
April 2nd would have been the day that you reported her missing.
that I first, yes, that they sent, that they went there for a wellness check, or that's what they told me they were gonna do.
And April 2nd was the day that she missed work.
April 2nd is the day she missed work, yes.
I have nothing further.
Are you due to cross?
No.
Okay, then ma'am, you may step down. At this point, I'm going to release you for the day. Okay, so those admonitions are even more important now, right? So when you go home tonight, you can't discuss the case with anybody. You can't do any research. You can't discuss it with each other as you walk out. You can't blog about it, text about it, email about it. You're all getting the gist of all this, right? Put it completely out of your mind till you come back in the morning, and then tomorrow morning we'll kick back up. I'm going to have you meet with my bailiffs. I'd like to start court tomorrow at 8:45. Okay? So please leave your notebooks on your chairs, and you are all excused for the evening. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everybody. Feel free to bring coffee, water, soda with you in the morning. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Y'all, today went kind of fast. Did it go long for you guys? This was the man. Girl, let me tell. First of all, Sade was 19 years old. That lady, I don't know how old Angela is, but Angela is definitely 19 plus 19. So Lil Sade had been working there for 3 or 4 years, which means that was maybe one of her first jobs. I would imagine, maybe not her first, but that's a long job for someone who's 18 years old, right? That's 19. That 3 or 4 years, she had that job since she was 16 or 15. That was like that was her job, right? Ma'am, you know how some people are a horrible witness? I think according to the police report, right? We read it yesterday. She said at approximately 9 p.m. on, hold on. Can I make this bigger? Hold on. At approximately 9 p.m. on April 2nd, a walk-in report was made by AJ and the Milwaukee police. AJ reported her friend Sade had not been returning phone calls and not showed up to work. AJ provided a phone number. She reported she lived on Commerce Street. AJ further reported to investigators that last known Robinson was a Snapchat that AJ viewed showing Robinson at Duke's on Water Street. I guess maybe it's been a year, so she's forgetting, but that she was out on a date. That was the Snapchat. She hasn't been seen since. Ma'am is a horrible witness, but I mean, she did report her missing. The curiosity for me is what I was trying to show it to you guys. The curiosity for me is what was the big deal about not calling her family? I mean, Sade's gone and there's no point in dragging that out. Ma'am was graduated from high school early. She was already in college. She was getting her associate's degree, so she was self-sufficient, but for some reason, not Angela, but the apartment manager lady said something about not calling the parents, or Angela said, girl, you gonna call me. And the only cashier and how they go, that's how they do like. Well, she was 16. She had to be 15 or 16. But they were talking about giving her a promotion. Look, she was 19 and getting an associate's degree. The other people were there for career. You know, they were career pizza parlor people. Maybe somebody owned the spot, but you know, Sade was getting her associate's degree, so that's okay. You know what I mean? Let them, you know. Did AJ set? Girl, we don't know. AJ's mom seems like a doozy, so I wouldn't have wanted to call her either. You mean like she would trip? Like she was like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? It's better to have your children up under your roof. We're not gonna say too much because I don't know, and I feel like they've been going through it. It's gonna start coming out. All we got to do is sit and listen to the testimony, okay? As I'm sipping on my ice. Okay, waiting for my ice to melt and sipping and sipping. Y'all, it's been a long day. I love you guys, but baby, it's time to go. Okay, girl, they were career pizza parlor people. Okay, all right, and we're not judging. Okay, far be it from me. You guys, I love you. Share me out, please. Okay, go ahead and share me on out. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you're on the replay. What's up? We'll do this again tomorrow. Waiting for girl. Drinking my waddy. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Hey, Kate. Hi, Keonce. Hey, boo boo. Girl, all my loyal to the soils are here. I don't know. There's got to be some loyal to the soils in the bushes, but all my loyal to the soils are here right now. I see y'all. I love you guys. You know, we keep up with these trials, and then when they come to trial, I mean, are we watching or are we watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like, if we gonna say about it, we need to be about it. Hello, Bougie Gang. Where's everybody at? Hello. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole list of trials we say we want to watch, but when the trials come up, are we gonna watch them? If they're televised, okay. Okay, my boo-boo, where's Bible Lady? Boo-boo asked me about Kimberly Mills, and someone asked me about Tyshell. We're gonna have to do, hold on, let me look at my list. We had Kelly this week. We had Tawana. I gotta look up and see if Tawana's having court soon. I feel like Tawana's got court next week, and I'm going. I'm trying to get some pictures outside the courthouse. Let me see. Sade, that's current, that's now. Diddy is now. Okay, but we got to get Tyshell. Now there was some court for the lady Kimberly Sullivan. I need to figure out what's going on, but she didn't have to be in court the other day. She said, "Y'all, it's time for y'all to girl. I gotta cook dinner." Tyshell and Kimberly. Samantha Marion. We got to check in with Samantha Marion. That's one that I think we missed. Also, we need to find out about the Chrisleys getting pardoned. That might be old news now, but y'all's Donna Trunk came through for the reality show, people, and baby, they're getting out. Donna Trunk came through. Todd and Julie Chrisley's daughter Savannah spoke out on her Instagram after getting a call from President Trump that he was pardoning her parents. We were found guilty on federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion in 2022. Todd and Julie are now being set free in a controversial turn of events, and the family is preparing for a reunion 2.5 years in the making. The Chrisleys instead insisted all along that they were innocent. Savannah told News Nation that she believed they were targeted for political views. Okay, because they support Donald Trump. Okay, we're gonna have to keep our eyes on that. I'm gonna get some more information, girl. President Trump. That's the only way I can talk about it. I'm gonna get some more information. Well, we got to peep game. Okay. Just understand we got to peep the game. Okay. You feel me? Okay. All right, guys. I love you guys. Today was really fun. Justice for Sade. Maxwell is going down. I feel like the prosecutors are really good. It seems like they're thorough. They have their information. I just hope that Waldo, hold on, let me show you a picture because he's giving Waldo all day. Where's Waldo? Hold on. Let me give you one last laugh for the road. If you're here and you hadn't watched Lunchtime Diddy update, please make sure you do. Catch all of it. Let's see. Where's Waldo? Baby. Hold on. Let's see. Is that not Max's lawyer? Hold on. Max's lawyer today. What's his name? Anthony Cotton? Is his name Anthony Cotton? Girl, Anthony. I think it's Anthony Cotton. Anthony Cotton. Anthony Cotton, attorney. There we go. No, not that Cotton. Milwaukee. Yeah, there he is. I need a picture of him today with that big hair. Wisconsin defense attorney. I need to see him with what's his name? Girl. It's the hair. Are they gonna show a better picture of him? Come on, show the lawyers. Hold on. Brent, you made us stay. You made us stay after school for this, after class, after court for this foolishness. I'm telling you, he looks like Waldo. You see it now? Let me see images. It's a very accurate assessment. Well, thank you. It's like I couldn't get it out of my head. Anyway, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Justice for Sade. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Is tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Okay, you guys have a wonderful evening. If you see me out here, baby, it's gonna have to be something important. I might try to sneak out here in some members and we'll talk about Sonia's dream, but that's if I get dinner cooked and I'm not taking a minute to myself because I am kind of like exhausted. Look at this. I'm dropping stuff. Oh, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.